All right, I say again, hello everyone. I'm Andry from the Ansukai Arboretum in southwest Madagascar. I'm glad to present you today the Didiereaceae family of Madagascar. So it's a family of flowering plants found in continental Africa and Madagascar. It contains 22 species classified in 3 subfamilies and 7 genera. Species of the family are succulent plants growing in a sub-arid to arid habitats. Several are known as ornamental plants in a specialist succulent collection. The subfamily Didiereaceae, one of the most remarkable plants group in the world, is endemic to the southwest of Madagascar, where the species are characteristic elements of the spiny thickets. A vegetation type unique to the island. The Madagascan Didiereaceae are xerophytic. All species are very spiny and deciduous shrubs or trees. The plants show remarkable adaptation to the dry climate, especially in the formation of spines and dropping off the leaves in the dry season. Young branches have some well-defined water storing cells. So before 1959, Didiereaceae remained virtually unknown in cultivation, but with Professor Rao travels to Madagascar, the whole picture changed. He introduced all the species of Didiereaceae to Heidelberg University and propagated and began a research project on the family that resulted in a monograph that was in 1963 and a long series of papers. So, as you probably already know, the Didiereaceae family was long considered entirely endemic to Madagascar until the genera Calyptrotheca, Ceraria, and the Potilacaria from the African mainland were included. Recent molecular evidence has resulted in expansion of the family to include these 3 genera. So unfortunately, this expanded family is therefore no longer one of the iconic Madagascan endemics. Phylogenetic tests showed conclusively that the genus Ceraria from Africa was located within Potilacaria, and now all Ceraria species have consequently been renamed and moved into that genus. The family is closely related to the New World Cacti family, sufficiently closely so that species of Didiereaceae can be grafted on some cacti. The brachyblasts of the Didiereaceae are referred to as areoles in the Cactaceae, most obviously to those of the primitive members, the Pereschioidae. The affinities between the 2 families can be demonstrated by means of grafting. It is possible to graft the Decaria onto Pereschioidae and vice versa. The first graft of Pereschiopsis with Decaria has been done by the Professor Rao. About the systematic position of the Didiereaceae, it wasn't clear for a long time, but today there's no doubt that the family is member of the order Caryophyllales. Within this order, the family appears to be closely related to the Cactaceae and the Potilacaceae. The order Caryophyllales are a well-defined systematic group of plants, which is characterized by the chemical composition of the flower pigments. These red or yellow floral pigments are not the more common anthocyanin, but they are betalains, called betalains. These betalains, which derive their names from the red bits, from which the chemicals were first isolated, have been found in Amarantaceae, Chenopodiaceae, Portulacaceae, and the Didiereaceae. These are all families of the order Caryophyllales. So although we don't know much about the ancestors of the Didiereaceae, studies reveal that all characters denote the ancient origin of the Didiereaceae, like many other taxa present in the Malagasy forest formations. It must derive from an ancient stock from the Cretaceous era. Maybe the family has developed after the isolation of the island from the continent. The ecological conditions largely contributed to the differentiation of the species. So I'm presenting you the 11 species of Didiereaceae from Madagascar, divided into 4 genera. That includes Allodia, Allodiopsis, Decaria, and Didierea. Species are unisexual or dioecious. Only the flowers of Decaria have been described as bisexual. They mostly have a distinctive form. They start as small precamens shrubs, but eventually a dominant stem is produced that becomes a trunk. The trunk later branches, forming a crown at the base of the branch, and the base of branches they off. Most of the Didiereaceae are arborescent growth. Only Allodiopsis species retains a shrubby growth form. So for those who are familiar with Madagascar, this is a map representing the natural range distribution of Didiereaceae in the south and southwest. It is here that the Didiereaceae occur. They are all very limited in range in the wild, and their habitats are rapidly being destroyed. So their preservation is of special concern. We at the Antsukai Arboretum always try to propagate as much as possible to maintain an extensive living collection, mainly either by cuttings or by seeds. And the red dot is just where I live right now, so that you know. So let's start with the Allodias. They usually begin as shrubs and ultimately becomes trees up to 10 to even 15 meters tall, with a trunk of up to 50 centimeters in diameter. The genus has 6 species, all distributed in southwestern Madagascar. All juveniles Allodia are shrubby, with the exception of Allodia ascendens. Yeah. Older stems, especially in Allodia procera and Allodia ascendens, are very thick and woody and can be used as lumber or firewood. The generic names, the generic name Allodia commemorates the French entomologist Charles Alliot. He collected plants and animals in Madagascar late 1800. So this is Allodia ascendens. It's a columnar tree. This is the tallest species, can reach up to 15 meters high. Yeah, it grows initially as a single stem, but then branches forming massive ascending V-shaped crowns. We can see Allodia procera growing together on the right side of the picture. The leaves are fleshy, heart-shaped, dark green, arranged in rows, in spirals. Small flowers, white to reddish in cymos, inflorescence up to 5 centimeters long. This species is distributed limited to the Marjare River between Siumbe and Fordofan. Note the difference of colors of the leaves between the old trunk and on the young stem. Yeah, this is, unfortunately, large tree of this species are cut into planks for construction of houses and also used to make charcoal. The board is often sewn in raw planks to be used in local house construction. The wood is also commonly used for boxes, for small boxes. It is used as firewood and for charcoal production. Alodia ascendens and some other Alodias will remain a timber tree of some local importance as long as stands of sufficient extent exist. Those little houses are made with Alodia ascendens and Alodia potsera wood. So, although some protected areas have been established for this species and other Alodia, more research attention is still needed for protection of these peculiar plants, which are so unique for southern Madagascar. On this mature tree, one can recognize this species at a distance by the inflorescences like muffs along the upper portion of the branches. This is the next species, Alodia comosa. That specific epithet describes the distinctive feature of this species. Comosa comes from comosus, which means brush-like. It has a distinctive, easily recognized silhouette with a short brown trunk and dense branches that stop in a flat crown, resembling to a large mushroom. This grows especially on limestone soils in the southwest coastal area between Tuliara and Fordofan. This species can be used as indicator of the presence of limestone. And the gray solitary spines about 2 centimeters long. Below them arise 1 or 2 fleshy green leaves. On the right, the details of the brown colored bark. And that's the flowers. They are produced on a reduced inflorescence. Only the end flowers develops, and is set on a very short axis. Flowers are dioecious with the red stamens, and the cuttings from these plants seem to be growing quite well in cultivation. And this is at Cap Sainte Marie. This is the extreme southern tip of Madagascar. The shape of the tree is modified due to the frequent strong wind, like many other plants growing in the same area. By the way, the dwarf Euphorbia capsantmariensis is occurring there. So this vegetation is exposed to permanent wind. The force of this wind increases plant transpiration and limits its growth. As a result, they have become stunted, where the permanent south wind limit the height development of plants by generating dwarf plant formation. It's another Alodia, Didiereaceae. Didiereaceae stands out far from the other Didiereaceae by its stems and near absence of leaves and spines. It's a very slow-growing species, at least here in Tulia, but easy by cuttings. And mature plants can reach up to 8 meters tall and 4 meters wide in habitat. The leaves, tiny leaves, delicate, they fall rapidly and remains leafless most of the time. The gray-green thick and fleshy stems are upright to arching and sparsely covered with small spines. The usually leafless stems are the photosynthetic organs for this species. These plants are also dioecious, grows on siliceous soil between Ampanihi and the Amboasari. That's the detail of the small black conical spines. They are no longer 3 millimeters. This is the flowers. It's produced in a small cluster of greenish flowers. It blooms seasonally from the branches. Yeah. The flowers appear in a small efflorescent cymos. Here we can see male flowers more attractive than the females in the photo in the bottom right corner. That's another Alodia humberti. It's a sprawling, thinly branched shrubs. It's a small species. The stems carry solitary thorns. This photo was taken during the wet season. That's why it's so green. The rampant shrubs eventually turn into a 3, 5, 6 meters tall, with a slender and much branched twiggy crown. The leaves emerge from beneath the thorns, 2 by 2, vertically upright. Occurs south of Ihusi near Mahabub to Fordofan. And this is a juvenile plant growing at the Arboretum. That one is about just 1 meter high. Flowering takes place from small branches and fluorescence near the ends of the upper shoots. Colorful greenish male flowers. They are closely resemble to those of Alodia didiereaceae. We just see. And this is male flowers again from the Alodia humberti. And that is Alodia montagnacea. It's a very special species. Grows on the Mahafali Plateau in the southern and around Itampulo area in sandy soil. It can reach a height of 2 to 6 meters. This is the rarest and the most localized species. Alodia montagnacea can be distinguished from the other species by its bigger thorn and large inflorescence, which are visible. They are visible from far on the Mahafali Plateau. Plants are unbranched or with sparsely branched crown. Stems ends often bent and curved. This is around Itampulu. And the trunks are often covered with lichens on the seaward side, especially on old specimens. And yeah, that one has a very special shape with very curved branches. Sadly, as you can see, opuntia are everywhere, taking over the degraded forest. Those are young stems from the Arboretum collection here in Tulia. Some of them have darker leaves at the end of the dry season. This is still Alodia montagnaceae. Yeah, and the stem and branches have symmetrically arranged heart-shaped leaves, about 1.5 centimeters long. They are deciduous most of the dry season. And those are old ones. The tall columnar central trunk supports strong vertical branches. Yeah, and the flowers are small, greenish to or yellowish. For instance, of Alodia montagnaceae, where each branch tip bears one or more large lateral inflorescences with hundreds of flowers. Together with its very localized distribution and hence rarity has led to the suggestion that this species may in fact be a natural hybrid. If so, it's the only hybrid known in the family so far, but it's not. Now this is Alodia procera, another tall species growing from south of Tulia to Amboasari. It gives several branches up to 10 meters high. The name procera comes from the Latin procerus, meaning tall or slender. With age, it has a very large trunk and a slender branch crown covered with leaves in the ground in the growing season. And the twigs are silver gray, armed with conical spines arranged vertically in lines that curve or spiral towards the tips of the branches. This is the most widespread species in the genus, growing both on acid and alkaline soil. The young Alodia procera form a tangle of stems that last for several years, after which a strong central stem develops. The basal stems then die out, leaving a tree-like stem that branches higher up to the main trunk. Most of the Allodias can be easily propagated by cuttings. It is probably the most common species in cultivation outside Madagascar. Inflorescence, similar to the Montagnaceae, is a lateral large and dense panicle, about 30 centimeters wide, near ends of long branches consisting of cymes. Flowers are dioecious, small, greenish to yellow, swell smelling, sweet smelling. It's a very good perfume with short pedicel. Flowers are pollinated by bees and other flies. Flowering times between September and October, and fruits are usually ripe or about 1 month after flowering. Alodia procera is the preferred habitat for the Barox sipvaca, the dancing lemur. That's another endemic wonders of Madagascar. This was in last August at Berenti Private Reserve. This is near photo too. This tree is unlikely to produce seeds because all the lemurs eat almost all the flowers. Okay, so now let's switch to another genus, the Allodiopsis. It's another genus of the Didiereaceae family with only two shrubby species, both of which produce long whip-like branches from the base. It has less claim to succulence than the other genera, but it has some showy flowers, especially Allodiopsis marneriana. The leaves are narrow, fleshy, and are arranged singly on these long branches, with single or paired spines in the axils. The short branches produce paired leaves, which arise from between or above the trunk of the spines. It is distributed in a spiny thicket from Cacti National Park to north of Tulia. So that's the first species of Allodiopsis. This is Allodiopsis fiorenensis. It's a deciduous shrub up to 2 meters branch from the base. The wand-like shoots are little branched and bear pairs of diverging linear fleshy leaves from the areoles. Branches are woody and thin. The flowers are beautiful. They are unisex, yellowish-green triangular petals grouped in axillary cymes. It grows on limestone soil in the Fiorena Valley near Tulia. This species was the only species in that genus for many years. That's the second Allodiopsis marneriana. Occurs in the north of Tulia in the Nikea forest. It's a highly branched shrub ranging from 2 to 3 meters tall. The branches have a distinctly zigzag growth pattern with fleshy leaves, but shorter than those of Fiorenensis. The plant doesn't look like much when there are no leaves or flowers. It's a plant that we can forget easily and come back to when it's in flowers and leaves again. Flowers are between September and November. They are remarkable with the common red petals with yellowish sepals, usually paired or in a small clusters. It's a very rare species. It occurs on red sandy dunes near the northern coast of Tulia. It's one of the most striking discoveries within the family because it is the only one with the largest and the most colorful blooms of the whole family. This photo was taken from a private garden. Okay, this is Didiereaceae, another genus. This is a monotypic genus. It has just one species. It's distinctive, immediately recognizable genus. It's the only member of the family that breaks the rules of strict Didiereaceae. Instead of male and female plants, it has bisexual and female. Didiereaceae, this is Didiereaceae Madagascar. It's a unique species of the genus. It has succulent stems growing in a zigzag pattern with 2 spines, and the outside where the stem changes direction. Hair spines are born at each node. Each branches will have a small single leaf at each node, which are rapidly lost at the end of the wet season. The yellowish flowers arise from small branches, comes emerging from the areoles. It is located in the southwest coastal plain from Ampanihi to Behara, where it grows mainly on limestone in xerophytic bush. In cultivation here at the Arboretum, it's not an easy species to propagate. Cutting down roots and the small transplanted plant tend to die off after 2 or 3 years. But I haven't tried the seeds yet. This is a close-up of the female flowers on the left and males on the right. Now this is Didiereaceae. This is this is the 4th genus of the family. That genus has 2 species, all unisexual. The name is dedicated to the French naturalist Alfred Blondivier. They are probably the most favored by collectors for their similarities with members of the Cactaceae. The occurrence of a noticeable spirally arranged tubercle bearing areoles with stout spines is nearer to cactus architecture, even than is found in Pachypodium or Euphorbia. The flowers in Didiereaceae are mostly arranged in much branched styles. They are relatively small and barely colored. Okay, this is Didiereaceae madagascarensis. It is commonly known as the octopus tree. It's one of the 2 species of the genus. This is a semi-succulent woody shrub to small tree. It is densely spiny and can grow up to 10 meters tall. It shows the closest morphological similarity to columnar cacti amongst the Didiereaceae. It grows in sandy soil along with Pachypodium gay and large euphorbias. It is the more northern species, and the Didiereaceae trolley has a southern distribution. The 2 species overlaps in the region north of Tulia, but no hybrids have been found between them. The spines for Madagascariensis are arranged in whorls, mostly of 4. Leaves are narrow and arranged in rosettes. The leaves completely hide the spines of the primary stem during dry season. During that time, the leaves are eaten by the goats, the spines not being deterrents. Branching starts when the primary stem reaches a height of 1 or 2 meters. On the left picture, a small, a stem full of female flowers, and on the right, the seeds starting to ripe. Fruits are very small nutlets, surrounding by the persistent perianth. Yeah, we can see here the female flower on the left and the male flower on the right. Right. This is near Unilahi River in Pulia. Didiereaceae madagascarensis is probably the most widespread species in Madagascar, with a large distribution from Morondava in the west to the south of Korea. The lateral branches are bent more or less horizontally under the influence of coastal winds. These coastal forms were identified as Didiereaceae mirabilis by Young, but in fact, it's not a separate species. This is how it looks like during the dry season. Between May and November, only few branches have leaves. And then when in flowers, they attract numerous birds, especially the lovebirds. Not sure what are they doing on these plants, but seems to eat the new seeds because those are not flowers anymore; they are seeds. Then this Didiereaceae, this one is also very special. So it is distinguished from the Didiereaceae madagascarensis by the horizontal ground-hugging branches, which appear to crawl over the floor, over the forest floor. A significant difference between them is the juvenile growth habit. The primary stem of Didiereaceae madagascarensis is solitary and grow erect. This species occurs in the spiny forest between Betioke and Ambuvumbe, and is pretty common in the Itampulu area in sandy soil. This is a young trolley. It begins life creeping on the ground, resembling a large spider or a creeping octopus. Only after more long should grow around. The leaves are much smaller than the Madagascar. Spines are also smaller and thinner. So the that is a nice little forest of Didiereaceae during rain season. This is near Ampani. And the southwest of Madagascar. And in the background, mature Didiereaceae. This is in Itampulu where they are pretty common. Another Didiereaceae forests with older plants, many with horizontal juvenile branches and crawling on the ground. As in the foregoing species, the flowers are crowded in umbels, covering sections of the stem. The males are greenish to yellow. And this is another mature trolley with people skin. I think some of you can recognize one of the guy. In the background, you see large Alodia gimosa growing together on the graded land. And again, unfortunately, already invaded by the Upontia. And this lastly, this is a plant that my father found around Tulia area. Some 30 years ago, the largest plant was about 2 meters tall, but unfortunately no flowers were seen. The plant matches the published description by Guillaume and Coquelin of a Didiereaceae, which they thought might be a new species. Due to lack of flowers, they did not officially describe the species. I have several large specimens of this plant at the Arboretum, but never flowered. This is a plant. This closely resembles Didiereaceae, whose nearest location is 100 kilometers away. The plant differs from Trolley in being smaller, and the basal branches are not well developed, but without flowers, we don't know if these plants are a new variety of Didiereaceae, a new species, or perhaps hybrids, but it's likely a hybrid, but I'm not sure. Well, that's all. That's all I had to say about the Didiereaceae family.